Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob back today to bring a couple more battles as part of the RU Chronicles series that we are running here. Today will be less salt and more flubs. This is still early on in... Actually no, this is later on me playing and I'm still messing up, so what does that tell you about my progression as a player? Yeah. Anyways, so... First battle here is against the person by the name of Barber and Dave. Now, this is actually a good example of the introduction of Regirock, because later on in the suspect testing, Regirock was starting to become a really, really popular Pokemon, mainly because it can tank hits from Mega Pidgeot very well and threaten it back, as opposed to Registeel, who can tank hits from all three Pokemon, but at the same time, it doesn't really offer much offensive pressure back. Regirock has the Stab Stone Edge, which is going to hurt, or Stab Rock Slide, depending on which one you want to run. Either way, it's going to hurt a lot. So Regirock actually makes quite a good physically defensive Pokemon that can still tank both hits from Mega Pidgeot. And actually, believe it or not, even today in RU, I see a lot of Regirock. And I think Regirock is actually quite a good Pokemon for the RU metagame. I don't know, it just feels like, even though it's weak to a lot of the water types that are in here, a lot of fighting types that are in RU, with losing Pangoro, it's just one more Pokemon that Regirock doesn't have to worry about getting smashed in the face with super effective attacks. So, I mean, also with Mega Pidgeot and Moltres being gone, he doesn't have to worry about his weak base 50 special defense, and even though it's resisted hits, it's still going to hurt. So he can actually be a pretty good physical wall, but in this case, this is for the suspect testing, and it's very good against the Mega Pidgeot. So we have to deal with that. Fletchinder is actually one of the weaknesses of this team, one of the big weaknesses of this team, because of the priority. If it gets up a Swords Dance, I'm really in trouble. The best I could do is get Drapion in there with Taunt, and use my 3 physically defensive Pokemon to try and just whittle it down. So we'll have to watch out for that. Also, you guys have to keep in mind before this battle starts that the entire time I am worried about this Mega Houndoom. Okay, Mega Houndoom is going to push my crap in. It's going to destroy me. So we have to be cognizant of that. So, anyways, in the ways of leads, I didn't know what he wanted to lead off with, so I just lead off with a Drapion because it's my best bet against him. I can go for knockup against any Pokemon. If he brings in Regirock, I can go for Taunt. So he is going to switch out immediately, go into his Hitmontop, which is not a big deal. I believe I just end up going for Toxic Spikes. And the reason for this is he has that Houndoom, and he has the Ludicolo, so I want to be able to get those things poisoned. Unfortunately, he goes straight for the Rapid Spin as I end up going for the Whirlwind. Now, I am going to go for the knockoff, which is silly of me, because I just wanted to check to see if this was the Choice Banded set that some people like to run, or if it's the Acrobatic set, which, you know, makes sense. Now it makes sense, but back then I was like, I want to check just in case. Now, there are 2 things that are certain in life, ladies and gentlemen. The first is I will always forget Taunt if I see it more than once in a battle. I'll see it once, I'll be like, crap, that's Taunt, and then I'll forget it again. So for some reason, I go for Thunder Wave, and it gets a free switch to his Houndoom. So, except not really. I feared that I go into Slowking. I'm just going to go for the Scald, look for a burn, look for damage. Luckily, I burned the Ludicolo. Now, I was assuming this thing's going to be a Rain Dance sweeper just based on the look of his team. So I am going to go into Registeel, and the reason for this is I can tank all the hits from it. And on top of that, I could just go for Seismic Tosses. So he is going to go for the Hydro Pump. Oh my god. That hurts a little bit. I think I actually threw a little bit more special defense in. I can't remember now after this battle. But what I could do is actually just switch. Now, you're probably wondering, why would you not go for Protect? The reason for this is I didn't want his Houndoom coming in for free. But even then, it's in the rain, so I really don't know what I was... Oh, no, you know what I was? You know what it was? I was fearing Fletchinder, because Fletchinder could just come in, go for the taunt and stuff like that. So I go into Slowking, something that can actually hit it with a super effective attack to make sure that it can't do anything. Now, here I actually predict the Regirock, the Houndoom, or the Fletchinder to come in. So I go for Toxic. Unfortunately, just stays in, goes for Knockoff. Not too big of a deal. Now, this guy actually is he's going to outplay me quite a bit. Now he's going to go into his Hitmontop as I end up just going for Toxic and missing. That's not an outplay, that's just unlucky. But, that would have been nice to have the Toxic on that thing. No big deal. I'm going to go into Drapion now. It pretty much walls the Hitmontop set. I know now that it is the RU set, not the offensive Life Orb one we're seeing these days that I run in Ubers. But he is going to go for Close Combat, seeing that it does absolutely nothing. So now he is going to switch. I believe he goes into Fletchinder, because it just takes everything from me. No, it goes into Regirock, and I believe I just go for a Toxic Spike. Again, not that big of a deal. This thing having leftovers, I'm not going to kill it anyways. I could just go for Taunt, because I haven't revealed it yet. Now he can't go for Stealth Rock, so that's worth it for me here. Now he is going to switch out. I believe now he goes into his Fletchinder. There it is. Okay. So I end up going for a knockoff. At this point, I should just keep going for a knockoff to threaten this thing, but he has Roost. and he hasn't revealed the Swords Dance yet, but I am going to go for the taunt because I'm stupid in the future and I'm smarter back then, so, excuse me. Acrobatics is not going to do a lot, but that is good to know that if he gets a Swords Dance up, it is a 2-hit KO. So, threaten this thing with damage. I am going to switch out, and I believe he's going to Slowking? No, Registeel. Now, he makes a switch and goes to do his Escavalier. This is not terrible. This is not terrible. I could just go for Protect, get some more HP back. But the problem is, I'm playing around him trying to get offensive momentum when I have when I have my whole team up, but my team is extremely bulky, so I don't know why I'm playing very scared here. He does switch to the Fletchinder as he sees my Hitmontop coming in, so he knows what Pokemon I'm going to send in to defend against. Now, this was a mistake on my part. I should have just gone straight for the Psyshock. I thought Houndoom was coming in, so I went into Drapion. Drapion's not going to do anything against it. I just thought, I have to come in, I know I can take a +2 Acrobatics and go for Taunt on it, and then later I can threaten it with a Pokemon that can kill it, like Slowking. But, in hindsight, Cresselia was at full HP. What's he going to do? He went for Taunt, he's going to set up. Psyshock would have done a lot of damage. So, and he was taunted. I know he wasn't taunted, but either way, it's going to force him, and I could just keep forcing the thing because he doesn't have Toxic on me, so I could keep attacking him. Now Escavalier's got to come here, and I'm going to go for the Seismic Toss. I'm just going to go for Protect, get the HP back, the Rinse Repeat type of thing. And this sucks, because, again, I'm playing so afraid of this Fletchinder and this Mega Houndoom that I'm just giving up offensive pressure here. But now I know he's going to go for Knockoff, or Mega Horn, or something like that, so I can go into Mega Pidgeot, or just go into normal Pidgeot, Mega Evolve, and I believe I just go for Heat Wave. And that was extremely dangerous. But, I mean, he's not going to switch in Mega Houndoom. He's not going to switch in Houndoom to Mega up on this thing, so I could just go for U-turn here. I figured Heat Wave would just be a safe play. I can go out. Regirock doesn't threaten anything. If I go into Slowking, it's not going to do much. He's just going to get his rocks up. Which at this point, I still have Hitmontop is at a healthy 90%, so I can go for Rapid Spin if I need to. He is going to go into his Escavalier, so I end up going for the Scald, hoping for the burn. I don't get it. And then I stay in because we saw Pursuit from this thing before. So, there was no point in me, but he made an excellent play and went for the knockoff. Predicting me to probably want to stay in, fearing the Pursuit. So here, I'm going to sack up another Pokemon. You're probably thinking, why? Well, it's because I just want this thing's Assault Vest off. So now, for sure, it's going to die to Mega Pidgeot just going for Hurricane, as opposed to having to go for Heat Wave. So later, I can kill the Mega Pidgeot, or I can kill Mega Houndoom if he wants to try to do some Flash Fire switching or whatever. So, Hitmontop's going to come in. It's poison. This is nice. I'm going to switch out, go into my Cresselia, I believe. Yes, I'm going to go to my Cresselia. And here he just goes for the Rapid Spin. No big deal. Now, I didn't expect this. I'm at max special attack, modest nature. I actually didn't expect Hitmontop to tank that Moonblast that well. And I figured it's physically defensive, so going for Moonblast would do more damage. That thing took it very well. So, I'm going to go for the Sucker Punch because I figured that most of these were running Sucker Punch, and he is going to die to poison anyway. So I believe I didn't expect it. Now that I think about it, I didn't expect the Sucker Punch. I just went for Calm Mind, seeing that this is a perfect opportunity. +1 Moonblast against Mega Houndoom will be nice. I can tank a hit and hit him back with a +1 hit, which is a 2-hit KO. So he goes into Regirock. I go for Moonlight. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why I went for Moonlight. I should have just hit this thing with a +1 Moonblast. I really flubbed it there, and that's actually going to make me lose quite a bit of pressure against this guy, because this thing getting destroyed would have been nice. I'm going to go for Toxic, predicting the Fletchinder or Houndoom to come in to want to set up. At the same time, it doesn't make sense for Houndoom to come in because I'm going for close combat most likely, so I expected Fletchinder. Just telling you guys the thoughts that are going through my head, because at this point, it's like, I've just made so many mistakes. I remember, like, I'm making so many mistakes. I'm taking time on my turns to make sure I'm not tilting with my technique, even though I'm already put myself in a corner. So, even though this looks good for me 4-2, Fletchinder can still sweep my team, which is bad. And so can Houndoom, because it's going to Mega up and it's going to kill me. So Fletchinder comes in, he's just going to go straight for the Acrobatics. I figure sacking off Hitmontop is the best here, because what I could do is go into Registeel or go into Cresselia and just try and kill this. And I make a mistake here. I make a Moonlight. I go for Moonlight yet again. I should not. Why should I be going for Moonlight? I should be killing this guy, knowing that he has Taunt, because look at the Psyshock damage. It's a 2-hit KO. So, if I had gone for Psyshock, this thing would have been dead, and all he would have had left was Houndoom. That's all he would have had left. And then that way he'd have to Mega Evolve. I'd be faster with Mega Pidgeot. Or no, yeah, it'd still be faster, I believe. And then I'd be able to kill him with... I don't think Sucker Punch would be able to kill, but... I would be able to win this. But I'm gonna make a switch into Registeel. He makes a nice play, goes into Houndoom, and this is where the cruel reality hits. I forgot Mega Houndoom was banned to UU. Yeah. So, yeah. And it turns out he's got Sucker Punch as well. So, the entire time I was playing around a Mega Houndoom set, which was the UU Nasty Plot set. I did not expect the set with the special attack. It's just Life Orb with Sucker Punch. So I was playing around Mega Houndoom the entire time. That was wrong of me, but what's more is I really played too passively on that Fletchinder. I needed to just attack. If Houndoom came in, take a kill from Houndoom, because Mega Pidgeot, as long as I get the rocks off the field, Mega Pidgeot can deal with Houndoom. So I made too many flubs in this. I deserve to lose this battle, basically. That's what I'm saying. I really made too many mistakes in this battle. So, but that was a good game nonetheless, Barber and Dave. It was a good learning experience. It was a good thing to see Regirock, and it was good to see how Fletchinder destroys my team. Now, the next battle. This looks familiar, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen, from yesterday, Trick Room. Now, I told you I learned from Trick Room. This is one of those battles where I applied my knowledge to the Trick Room as much as I could. Now, the difference here is that his Trick Room users are more offensive in a sense of Reuniclus. It's just Reuniclus. Bronzong and Reuniclus are the Trick Room users. He still has the Dragalge. He still has the Mega Abomasnow as opposed to Mega Camerupt. But the difference between Camerupt and Abomasnow is he has a threatening, super effective priority attack, where outside of Trick Room, he can do a lot of damage to Mega Pidgeot. So, here's the thing. I'm assuming that it's a mixed Mega Abomasnow, which means it can do about 50% with Ice Shard to my Mega Pidgeot. So I have to be careful with that, not make it go into too many rock switch-ins if it comes down to a one-on-one between those two. But either way, I figured he's probably just going to lead off with either the Bronzong or the Reuniclus, because most Trick Room users, they either lead off with a very offensive Pokemon that can give a lot of pressure at its bulk, but in this case, it'd either be Rhyperior or Bronzong, and I'm thinking, you know what, he's probably just going to go for Trick Room, so I'm going to lead off with Drapion regardless, because, again, it makes a best lead, and I'm physically defensive, so if he did lead off with the Rhyperior, bam, I can get rid of it. Unfortunately, he has Mental Herb, and I'm like, oh, dang it, and then he gets me even better, because I believe I go for Knockoff here, which knocks off nothing, because Mental Herb, and then he goes for Explosion. I'm like, oh my god, I just got completely played because I went for Whirlwind. Ooh, that's not a good start to the battle, but I have contingency plans. Being bulky does allow you to make a lot of mistakes, so, you know, this is like the comfort. This is like Comforter for me. This is putting me in bubble wrap to make sure that if I make a mistake, I have Pokemon that are fat enough. They're like, ProPokeNoob, we got this. We'll tank your mistakes. Don't worry about it. You're not going to lose. I'll take a hit like a Mega Horn. So he's going to go to his Reuniclus as I predict this and go to my Drapion. Now, the cool thing here is I can go for Taunt, right? So I actually want to go for the Taunt, and he ends up going into his Escavalier, which is fine because what I am doing now is like I wanted to do in the previous battle with the Trick Room teams, is I want to get this thing out in time for Trick Room to wear off and then just stop them from actually setting up Trick Room. He's going to go for Drill Run, and make a note of this. Mega Horn would have actually killed me. This is important for later. He ended up going for the for the super effective as opposed to the stab, which would actually do more damage. And this guy actually plays a little bit passive as well with his threats, and I'll show you in a little bit later why. I am just going to go for T-Wave. It doesn't matter if he went into Rhyperior. I just want to make sure that any Pokemon that I can catch can get paralyzed except for Rhyperior. Like, Rhyperior I'm not worried about. I have Slowking, which can take a hit and then kill it with Scald. So he's going to go for Trick Room, followed up with a Shadow Ball. He does get the Spadef drop, which really sucks, because what this means is I actually, first of all, predict... What do I predict? Oh, I predict Escavalier. But, having Drapion up matters, because since I got the Spadef drop, it actually allowed me to fodder off Drapion as opposed to having to send out another Pokemon that would have to tank a hit, or send in Pidgeot to take Stealth Rock damage. So that actually worked out in the end, that he messed up and didn't go for Mega Horn. But now I am going to go into Registeel, knowing that he's probably not going to want to stay, or that we can't really do stuff to each other. So I'm going to go into Registeel because it's the best thing that can, you know, take hits, go for Stealth Rocks, stuff like this, start putting a little bit of switch pressure on him with the hazards. So I'm going to switch out, go into my Hitmontop, which can just give him the attack drop. And is this the part? He does go for Drill Run. And again, even if he's predicting me to switch, I'm guessing, I don't know, like, Mega Horn's gonna hurt, because Escavalier hurts. He's got base 145 attack. He should just be firing off stab hits like Iron Heads, like Mega Horns. Like, Mega Horn would have been the best play there, just because if I do want to switch, he knows I can't do anything to him except maybe Seismic Toss. So he should really be trying to put more damage down. That's just my opinion. He should just be trying to go for the damage. But either way, he is going to go for the Trick Room as he goes into a Bomb of Snow. Now, I am going to switch out knowing that something like this is going to come in, so I'm going to go to Cresselia. And so, people, you have to, this is the other certain thing. So one, there are two certainties in life, not death and taxes. Taunt and ProPokeNoob will always go for frickin' Moonlight in the Hailstorm. I don't know why there's no Moonlight in a Hailstorm. God, you have no idea. Like, why? Why? I need a sticky note with a giant thumbtack stuck into my brain to remind me that it doesn't work in Hail. It doesn't work. If I had gone for Psyshock there, this thing would have been a whole lot less threatening. Because now I don't have to worry about missing a Fire Blast and then taking a huge amount of damage from Giga Drain. By huge, I mean that damage told me that he was mixed. So I know that this thing has probably Earthquake and Ice Shard, or Wood Hammer, depending on... No, actually, if he had Wood Hammer, he would have gone for that. But now I know he does have Ice Shard because it is mixed damage, so... Let's get that straight. I do get a burn with the Fire Blast here on the Dragalge. It's nice. I didn't stay in. I don't know why. I would have actually been able to outspeed it at this point and go for Psyshock. But either way, I am just going to go into Registeel. Actually, no, I know why, because I didn't want to lose too much. I didn't want to lose too much HP on it. Checking for Draco Meteor and checking for, I guess, Thunderbolt, because some of them do run Thunderbolt. But this is the defensive one, as you can see, because it had Scald, so it's most likely it's the Assault Vest one. So either way, he's going to go as Reinoclus. I'm just going to go for Seismic Toss. Yeah, it's so close to killing him, and I was hoping for a Paralysis, but no, he gets up the Trick Room. No big deal. Registeel does die off, so I do get the free switch into my Slowking here. Now, he is going to go for the Shadow Ball. It's not that big of a deal, because I could just go for Fire Blast. I thought Escavalier might come in, because he might want to save this thing for later for going for Trick Room, but at the same time, he's paralyzed. He's not going to get it off. I'm going to be able to kill it. He does go into Escavalier now. Luckily, he does not have Pursuit. He has Drill Run. So I am just going to go back into my Hitmontop. Now, that was dangerous of him actually going for the knockoff, because I went into Pidgeot knowing that, and I have no rocks up here. I would have had a free Mega up, and I would have just... Actually, no, because I'm in Trick Room. What the hell am I saying? What am I saying? Oh, man. Anyways, I know he's going for Iron Heads. He's playing very safe with this Escavalier's attack, so I can go into Slowking, switch back out into the Hitmontop, knowing I can actually take another Iron Head after a -2 and then kill him off in close combat. So, that was my thought there. I can get more Regenerator bonuses up on, so I can take a Giga Drain from this thing and then kill it off, and actually also take a hit from Rhyperior, whichever one comes first. Now, because I do have the defense drop, that Ice Shard will kill. Usually it wouldn't. So now he does switch out into Rhyperior. I believe I predict this. Do I predict this? Am I a man? No, I just go for Fire Blast. But I do know, because this is a Trick Room team, I should outspeed with my 118 speed on my Slowking, which is meant to outspeed the Blades. I will kill off the Rhyperior, and his last Pokemon is Mega Bomb of Snow. And of course, if for some reason he would have outsped me, I had enough HP to take a Giga Drain regardless, so it wasn't a big deal. Again, this battle would have been a little bit different if he had been more aggressive, honestly, with his Escavalier. And if I didn't make so many mistakes with what actually was happening in the battle at the time. But, you know, hindsight can really mess you up when you're trying to narrate 2 months into the future. You're like, you know, that would have been a really, really good move to go for. Oh, wait, no, that's stupid, because I analyze in the present. I don't analyze in the future. Okay, cool. But anyways, those were excellent matches. Wow, what's your name? Banner and Dave and Dark Shout. Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed these battles. I swear these ones get better. You know, I don't give these battles as much credit and thought as I did back then. They did have a lot of thought put into them. I'm not just flubbing. I'm just floundering now. Don't worry. Back then, there were a lot of thought processes that were going through my mind, which actually makes me feel good about streaming, because, you know, with streaming, you guys actually hear all the thoughts that go through my head. You know, you don't have to worry about me messing up when I try to post-narrate. Yeah. Just happens, though. Don't worry about it. I will see you tomorrow. Have an excellent day. Maybe not tomorrow. Well, I mean, next upload. Yeah, we'll see. Have an excellent day, guys, and peace.